Wealth is not built in your bank account first, it is built in your mind. The world will tell you that riches belong to the lucky, the connected, or the chosen few who were born into the right families. That is a lie, and it has destroyed more ambition than poverty ever could. The truth is that riches begin with thought, with the images you allow to dominate your mind every day. Every fortune that has ever been created, every empire that has ever been built, started with a single person daring to think differently, daring to believe in their ability to grow something out of nothing. And yet, here is the dangerous truth no one tells you. Most people will die with their wealth still buried inside of them. Not because they lacked opportunity, not because they lacked intelligence, but because they never trained their mind to see abundance, only scarcity. That is why I am telling you now, with calm certainty and urgent emphasis, that if you do not take control of your thinking, the world will take control of it for you, and the world is not programmed for your success, it is programmed to keep you distracted, mediocre, and broke. The average man believes money is paper. He believes wealth is what sits in a vault or what comes in a paycheck. But money is only the shadow, never the source. The real currency is ideas, imagination, vision. The one who can hold a vision, nurture it, and act on it with discipline will always outrun the one who relies on wages alone. This is why two men can start with the same resources, the same background, even the same neighborhood, and one ends his life in debt while the other creates a legacy. The difference is not in the hands, it is in the head. One sees limitation, the other sees possibility. One repeats, "I cannot afford it." The other asks, "How can I afford it?" That small shift, repeated daily, creates a chasm as wide as night and day. If you believe your mind has the power to shape your wealth, I want you to write it in the comments right now. I think rich, I become rich. But the mind, left untrained, is wild. It listens to fear. It repeats the doubts of parents, teachers, neighbors, the television, the so-called experts who tell you to be realistic, to lower your expectations, to settle down and play safe. And every time you accept their suggestion, every time you agree with their fear, you program your mind to expect less, to desire less, to tolerate less. The law is simple. Whatever you think about most of the time is what you move toward. If you dwell on lack, you get more lack. If you dwell on abundance, you attract more abundance. The challenge is that most people spend their entire day rehearsing poverty, talking about bills, worrying about debt, envying others who seem to have more, and then they wonder why their lives are a mirror of their fears. Train your mind differently. Begin the discipline today. For 1 week, write down every negative thought about money as it enters your mind, and then rewrite it in the positive. Turn "I can't afford this" into "I am attracting new streams of income." Turn "I'll never be rich" into "I am building wealth daily." Do it until it feels natural. That is how the grooves of your thinking are carved. We live in a culture that glorifies early success, but what they fail to show you is how many of those early successes end in collapse. Lottery winners who return to poverty within years, athletes who go broke after their careers, entertainers who reach fame and fall into ruin. Why? Because the outer riches exceeded the inner riches. Their minds were not prepared to hold the weight of wealth. They had money, but not wealth consciousness. They had income, but no vision. You must reverse that equation. Build your mind first. Create the consciousness of wealth long before the world applauds you. Then, when the opportunities come, you will not fumble them away. You will multiply them. Delay is not denial. Delay is preparation. Write that line down. Say it out loud. Delay is not denial. Delay is preparation. The inner enemy of wealth is comparison. You look at another person's car, their clothes, their apparent freedom, and you convince yourself you are behind. That thought is poison. It rushes you into decisions you are not ready for. It makes you buy things you cannot afford, chase investments you do not understand, and fall for schemes that promise fast riches without effort. Comparison breeds impatience, and impatience kills wealth. A wealthy mind knows how to wait. A wealthy mind understands seasons. The farmer does not plant today and expect to harvest tomorrow. He plants, waters, waits, protects. Only the foolish man rips the seed out of the ground because it has not sprouted fast enough. Your wealth is a seed. Treat it as such. Protect it with patience. Water it with discipline. Harvest it with time. You must learn to see money as a servant, not a master. Too many men and women bow to it, chase it, fear it, and in doing so they give it power it never deserved. But the trained mind knows money is a tool, a multiplier of purpose. It is not the goal, it is the amplifier. If you are small without money, you will only be magnified in smallness with it. If you are disciplined, generous, and wise without money, those qualities will multiply when you have it. Do not chase money for its own sake. Train your mind to pursue purpose, service, and contribution. For money flows naturally toward those who add value to the lives of others. This is the law of compensation. Your income will always be in direct proportion to your service. Repeat that until it is engraved in your mind. My income is in direct proportion to my service. Comment it below if you believe it. There is another lie you must destroy tonight. The lie that money is evil. This lie has been whispered for centuries, and it has kept countless people bound in guilt and poverty. Money is not evil, it is neutral, like a hammer or a knife. It can build or destroy depending on the hand that wields it. To call money evil is to call electricity evil or fire evil. It is foolishness. Money is a tool, and like any tool, it multiplies the character of the one who holds it. Do not fear it. Do not resent it. Do not worship it. Instead, train your mind to master it. Say this aloud with me. Money is my servant, not my master. At this very moment, your mind is already attracting your future. Every thought is a signal, every belief a magnet, every expectation a seed. Ask yourself honestly, what am I expecting? What am I broadcasting into the world? If your answer is fear, lack, doubt, then your future will echo those expectations. But if your answer is faith, abundance, service, then the world will bend itself to deliver opportunities aligned with that vision. Do not underestimate the power of a single expectation repeated daily. Nations have been built on less. Fortunes have been created by one idea held firmly against all opposition. That power is yours now if you dare to use it. Tonight, I give you a simple assignment. Write down on a sheet of paper one declaration of wealth that you will repeat daily until it becomes second nature. Something like this. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Place it where you will see it morning and night. Repeat it aloud as though it is already true. Do this for 30 days and watch how your thoughts begin to align, how your actions begin to shift, and how opportunities begin to notice you. Most people will hear these words and forget them by tomorrow. But the ones who write it down, who repeat it, who engrave it, they will be the ones who see the difference. So let me leave you with this law, a law you should engrave on your heart. You become what you think about most of the time, not what you hope for, not what you casually wish for, what you think about daily. That is the law. Say it aloud with me. I become what I think about most of the time. Write it down, speak it out, and begin the lifelong work of training your mind to get rich before it is too late. Most people think the race for wealth is fought in the marketplace, in boardrooms, in the chaos of competition. But the real battleground is internal. Your mind is the arena where victories and defeats are first decided, long before the world reflects them back. This is why two individuals with the same job, the same salary, the same hours can live completely different lives. One struggles endlessly, trapped in cycles of debt and despair. The other quietly builds, saves, invests, and within years finds himself independent and free. The external conditions were identical, but their inner programming was worlds apart. One rehearsed lack, the other rehearsed wealth. One saw problems, the other saw opportunities disguised as problems. And that single difference determined their destiny. If you understand this, you are already ahead of 90% of people who chase wealth as though it lives outside of them, when in truth it lives first within. Here is a sobering truth you must never forget. If you do not deliberately train your mind to think abundantly, the world will program it to think poorly. Every advertisement, every news headline, every conversation drenched in worry is designed to make you a consumer, not a creator. They want you chasing scraps, not commanding abundance. They want you reacting, not directing. They want you distracted by what you lack, instead of focused on what you can build. You must resist this tide. You must create the discipline of feeding your mind richer meals. Read books that expand vision. Listen to voices that speak possibility. Write affirmations that rewire your expectations. If you believe you are capable of this discipline, type it into the comments right now. I train my mind for wealth. But let us expose another cultural lie, the lie that money will corrupt you. This is a half-truth, and like all half-truths, it is dangerous. Money does not corrupt, it reveals, it magnifies. A generous man with wealth becomes more generous. A foolish man with wealth becomes more foolish. The trained mind understands that wealth is responsibility, not ruin. To fear money is to fear a mirror. If you are afraid that riches will change you, it is not money you mistrust, it is yourself. The solution is not to shun wealth, but to shape character. now so that when wealth multiplies your nature, it multiplies what is noble, disciplined, and wise. Begin today with this declaration: I am trustworthy with wealth. I am a faithful steward of abundance. Consider the farmer once again. He prepares the soil long before he plants the seed. He labors under sun and rain, enduring seasons that seem empty until the day of harvest comes. Wealth is no different. The soil is your mind. The seed is your thought. The harvest is your reality. You cannot skip steps. You cannot demand fruit before planting. You cannot cry for a harvest without enduring the waiting season. This is why the poor in spirit remain poor in circumstance. They demand results without cause. They envy outcomes without effort. They beg for fruit without planting trees. But the wealthy mind accepts the natural order. Plant, water, wait, reap. Say it with me. Plant, water, wait, reap. Write that line down. Let it become the rhythm of your new discipline. Another enemy of wealth is impatience disguised as urgency. We are told to hustle endlessly, to chase every opportunity, to fear missing out. But what this produces is exhaustion, not wealth. The wealthy mind knows how to say no. It is selective. It is strategic. It understands that concentration, not chaos, creates empires. A magnifying glass can burn wood when focused in the sun, but scatter the light and nothing happens. Your energy works the same way. If you spend it chasing every trend, you will burn out with nothing to show. If you focus it on a single worthy goal, you can set the world aflame. Tonight, I challenge you. Write down the one financial goal that matters most to you right now. Not 10, not 5, 1. And for the next 30 days, pour your focus into that goal alone. Think of the iceberg. The part you see above water is small compared to the vast mountain beneath. Wealth works the same way. The riches you see in a successful man, the house, the car, the freedom, are only the visible tip. Beneath the surface are years of habits, thoughts, sacrifices, and disciplines that no one applauded. The world claps when the yacht appears, but the real story is told in the nights of study, the mornings of focus, the decades of consistent thought and action that carve the iceberg beneath. Do not envy the tip. Build the mountain beneath. Repeat this aloud. I build the foundation no one sees. Let me tell you the cost of ignoring this law. If you do not train your mind to get rich, you will not stay where you are. You will decline. There is no neutral ground in life. You are either climbing or sliding. You are either compounding your wealth or compounding your poverty. A man who refuses to direct his thinking is like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the currents of chance carry him. Sometimes he drifts into calm waters, but eventually he crashes on unseen rocks. That is the fate of most men and women who refuse to take charge of their minds. They drift into ruin while wondering why the world is unfair. Do not drift. Command your course. Write this declaration boldly. I am the captain of my mind. I direct my destiny. The simple, actionable truth I give you today is this. Set aside 15 minutes each morning, before the world invades your thoughts, to impress one dominant vision of wealth into your mind. Write it clearly. Speak it aloud. Visualize it as if it were already true. Hold it until it begins to feel natural. That small practice, repeated daily, will shape the grooves of your mind far more than hours of scattered worry. Most will ignore this. A few will obey, and those few will live lives the rest cannot imagine. Will you be among them? That answer depends on the discipline of your mornings. Understand this law and engrave it in your mind. Wealth is not an accident. It is a cause and effect process governed by universal principles. You are not a victim of fortune. You are the architect of fortune. Repeat this now with conviction. I am the architect of my fortune. I design wealth with my thoughts, my words, and my actions. The greatest tragedy is not that people aim too high and miss, but that they aim too low and hit. Most men and women never fail because they never truly try. They live cautiously, clinging to security, working jobs they dislike, trading time for wages, convincing themselves that safety is better than freedom. And yet, in their quiet moments when the noise fades and the truth whispers, they know they are capable of more. But here is the enemy they do not recognize. It is not poverty. It is not circumstance. It is the prison of small thinking. A man who believes he cannot rise beyond his present station has already chained himself, even if the door of opportunity stands wide open. The wealthy mind refuses this prison. The wealthy mind understands that limits are illusions, and illusions are shattered only when confronted with bold thought. Say this aloud with me. I refuse small thinking. What you hold in your imagination is more important than what you hold in your wallet. The wallet reflects the past. The imagination projects the future. If your imagination is filled with scarcity, your future will continue to echo scarcity. If it is filled with abundance, your future bends itself toward abundance. The law cannot be broken. You become what you think about most of the time. Consider the child who dreams of flying. He imagines, he plays, he refuses the boundaries of the ground, and one day he becomes the pilot who commands the skies. Or the poor student who envisions himself as a leader. Though his pockets are empty, his vision is rich, and the day comes when men and women look to him for direction. The mind precedes the manifestation. Wealth is born first in vision, then in form. Tonight I urge you to carve into your journal one clear, bold vision of the life you intend to create. Do not make it small. Do not shrink it to please others. Make it worthy of your soul. Let us confront another false belief. Many people think they must wait until they are ready, until conditions are perfect, until everything aligns before they take a step toward wealth. But perfection is the enemy of progress. Conditions will never be perfect. The stars will never all align. Waiting for certainty is waiting forever. The wealthy mind understands that action is the seed of clarity. You learn not by waiting, but by moving. You adjust as you go. A ship can only be steered once it leaves the harbor. If it stays tied to the dock, it is motionless, useless, dead. So too with your dreams. Untie yourself. Move forward even if the way seems unclear. Write this in your notes tonight. Action creates clarity. Repeat it until hesitation loses its grip on you. Comparison is a thief, and it robs quietly. You scroll through lives on a screen, convinced that everyone else is ahead, richer, happier, freer. But what you see is not truth. It is a projection, a carefully constructed mask. The more you compare, the more you despise your own journey. And despising your journey blinds you to the treasure buried in it. A wealthy mind does not waste energy envying others. It studies, it learns, it adapts, but it never envies. Because envy poisons the soil of your mind, and no seed grows in poisoned ground. The antidote is gratitude. Each morning list 3 things you already have that bring you closer to wealth. Skills, experiences, connections, opportunities. This simple act will shift your focus from lack to plenty. Gratitude multiplies, envy diminishes. Choose gratitude. Repeat this out loud now. I celebrate my journey. I walk my own path to wealth. Let me remind you of a law as old as time. You cannot receive more until you prove faithful with what you already have. The man who mishandles a single dollar will mishandle a million. The one who wastes hours will waste years. Wealth consciousness begins in the small things. Discipline with money, discipline with time, discipline with energy. Each small act compounds. Just as a river carves a canyon one drop at a time, so does the daily discipline of your mind carve your destiny. Do not despise small beginnings. They are the foundation of great endings. Tonight, I challenge you to track every dollar you spend this week. Observe your habits. See whether your money serves you or you serve it. Awareness is the first step toward mastery. Another cultural illusion is that debt is normal. Society trains you to borrow endlessly, to live beyond your means, to surrender your freedom to interest rates and creditors. They call it modern life. I call it financial slavery. Debt drains the mind, poisons creativity, and shackles ambition. The wealthy mind seeks independence, not bondage. It understands that true riches mean freedom, not fancy possessions paid for with chains. Begin wherever you are, but begin now. Create the plan to step out of debt and into freedom. Each payment, no matter how small, is a declaration of sovereignty. Write it boldly. I am free from financial chains. Pause and ask yourself this question. What beliefs about money did I inherit without question? Perhaps you were told that rich people are greedy, that money is scarce, that wanting more is selfish. These beliefs are not truths. They are viruses passed from generation to generation. The wealthy mind disinfects itself of lies. It questions every belief until only truth remains. Truth like this: money flows toward value. Wealth follows service. Abundance multiplies when directed toward good. These are laws, not opinions, and when you align with them, you cannot help but rise. If you believe this, write it in the comments. Value creates wealth. Remember this metaphor and let it brand itself into your thinking. Your mind is a gold mine. Each idea is an ounce of gold waiting to be uncovered. Most people never dig. They stand on the surface wishing, complaining, staring at others who are mining their own land. But the one who picks up the shovel of thought, who digs daily with discipline, who refuses to quit after one swing, discovers the treasure beneath. That treasure has been waiting for you all along. Begin the excavation tonight. Set aside 10 minutes for quiet thinking. Ask yourself, what can I create? What can I solve? What can I serve? Write down the answers. The gold is in your mind, but only if you dig. I leave you with this declaration, a law to guide you forward. Wealth begins in vision, grows through discipline, and manifests through service. Say it aloud with conviction. Write it down where your eyes will meet it each day. I create wealth through vision, discipline, and service. The harshest truth about wealth is that time is either your ally or your executioner. Every day that passes without directing your thoughts, every day you allow yourself to drift in worry and distraction, is a day that compounds against you. Wealth is not built in dramatic leaps. It is built in quiet, consistent compounding. The man who waits for the perfect moment loses decades. The one who begins, even with small steps, allows time to multiply his efforts into abundance. Think of the acorn. Alone it looks insignificant, yet planted and nurtured it becomes the mighty oak sheltering generations. So it is with your thoughts. One small idea, one disciplined action repeated daily can grow into an empire, but only if you start now. Delay is costly. Delay is denial. Delay is defeat. Ask yourself this. How many hours have you already surrendered to meaningless worry, idle entertainment, or destructive habits? Those hours are gone, and with them, opportunities to build the foundation of freedom. The wealthy mind counts time as the most valuable currency. A dollar lost can be regained. An hour lost is gone forever. This is why wealthy men and women guard their mornings, schedule their days, and measure their progress. They know time is not just money. It is more than money. It is life itself, translated into opportunity or wasted into regret. Tonight, I want you to track your hours as carefully as you would track your income. Where your hours go, your destiny follows. If you believe your time is precious, write it in the comments. My time is my treasure. Here is another illusion that must be destroyed. The illusion that wealth is only for the few, that you are somehow excluded, that greatness belongs to others but not to you. This belief is poison. It makes men shrink when they should rise. It convinces women to settle when they should soar. Wealth does not belong to the chosen few. It belongs to the disciplined few. It belongs to the thinking few. It belongs to those who train their minds, plant their visions, and refuse to quit. The law is universal and impartial. The soil does not care who plants the seed. It only responds to the one who plants faithfully. Say this aloud until it sinks into your bones. I am included in abundance. I am not excluded from wealth. Most people sabotage themselves with one deadly phrase, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is the graveyard of dreams. Tomorrow is the excuse that delays wealth until it is too late. You must understand that wealth is never built tomorrow. It is built today, in this moment, with the thoughts you choose now, with the actions you take now, with the discipline you embrace now. Do not wait to begin writing your goals. Do not wait to begin your savings plan. Do not wait to learn the skill that could change your life. Waiting is the language of poverty. Action is the language of wealth. If you hear these words, write this down and declare it boldly. I ace ET today. I build today. I begin now. Let us speak of sacrifice. For sacrifice is the price of greatness. To gain one thing, you must give up another. This is not punishment. This is the law of exchange. If you want freedom, you must sacrifice comfort. If you want wealth, you must sacrifice excuses. If you want time for creation, you must sacrifice time wasted on distraction. Every fortune you admire was purchased by sacrifice. The question is never, will you sacrifice? The question is, what will you sacrifice? The wealthy mind chooses to sacrifice what is lesser to gain what is greater. Tonight, make a list of what you must release, habits, expenses, distractions that no longer serve your vision, and declare this law. Sacrifice is investment, not loss. Think of the athlete who rises before dawn, training when no one is watching. Think of the student who studies while others play. Think of the entrepreneur who risks rejection again and again until the breakthrough comes. Each of them sacrifices pleasure for progress, and though the world calls them strange in the moment, the day comes when the results cannot be denied. So it will be with you. The day will arrive when your sacrifices bloom into freedom, and those who doubted you will ask how you did it. You will know the truth. You traded what was cheap for what was priceless. You traded comfort for legacy. Another false belief must be destroyed now. The belief that wealth requires exploitation, that in order for you to win, someone else must lose. This is the creed of scarcity, and it is false. True wealth multiplies, it adds, it expands. When you create value, you elevate not just yourself, but everyone touched by your service. The baker feeds the village. The inventor solves a problem for millions. The leader organizes chaos into opportunity. The wealthy mind sees money not as a pie to be divided, but as a flame to be shared, igniting countless others. Repeat this truth aloud. Wealth multiplies through service. Here is a simple exercise you can begin tonight. Write down 3 ways you can serve others better in your current life. Do not wait until you own a company or manage millions. Begin with what you already have. Can you solve a problem for your workplace? Can you create something useful for your community? Can you bring clarity to someone else's confusion? Service builds value, and value attracts wealth. You do not need to wait for opportunity. You can create it through service. And as you expand service, wealth follows like a shadow that never leaves your side. Understand this and let it engrave itself into your heart. Money is not the goal, it is the echo. It is the reward for value given, discipline applied, sacrifice embraced, and time invested. To chase money is to chase a shadow. To chase value is to attract money naturally. This is the law of compensation, and it cannot fail. Say it now with conviction. My income grows as my service grows. Write it where you will see it daily. Believe it until your actions prove it, and live it until your results demonstrate it. So I leave you with this final declaration for today. Wealth is not built in waiting, in wishing, or in worrying. It is built in action, in sacrifice, and in service. Train your mind to see time as treasure, sacrifice as investment, and service as the true currency of abundance. Say it aloud. Write it down. I use my time wisely. I sacrifice what is less for what is more. I serve and I grow rich. The most dangerous lie whispered into your mind is that you have time, that you can postpone, delay, drift, and still somehow arrive at greatness. But life does not work this way. Every day you hesitate. The weeds of mediocrity grow stronger in your mind. Every hour you waste strengthens the chains of average thinking. And when the years slip by, you will look back and realize the only thing you multiplied was regret. The wealthy mind understands that urgency is not panic. Urgency is clarity. The man who knows his time is limited acts with precision. He does not scatter his energy, he channels it. He does not postpone, he produces. He does not wait, he begins. If you hear my words now, repeat this declaration to engrave it in your being. I will not waste time. I will not waste life. Consider the way compound interest works. A small sum, faithfully invested, multiplies beyond imagination over time. $1 today becomes 10 tomorrow, 100 in years, and thousands in decades. The principle is simple, but the principle is relentless. Wealth obeys the same law in thought and action. Each disciplined decision compounds into habits. Each habit compounds into character. Each character compounds into destiny. This is why one man drifts into ruin while another rises into freedom. The difference is never one decision alone, but the compounding of thousands of small ones. Train your mind to honor compounding. Ask yourself daily, is this thought compounding my wealth or compounding my poverty? Is this action planting seeds of freedom or seeds of slavery? Write this down now. I respect the law of compounding. There is a subtle enemy that robs more wealth than theft ever could. That enemy is distraction. We live in a world designed to capture your attention and sell it to the highest bidder. Every notification, every advertisement, every headline is engineered to pull your mind away from creation and trap it in consumption. The untrained mind becomes addicted to this cycle. Hours vanish, energy drains, vision fades. The wealthy mind is ruthless about focus. It eliminates distractions like a gardener pulling weeds, because it knows distraction today becomes poverty tomorrow. Your wealth depends on your ability to guard your attention. Say this aloud until it imprints itself. My attention is gold. I spend it wisely. Now let us speak of belief, for belief is the foundation of all riches. If you do not believe wealth is possible for you, no strategy, no plan, no opportunity will ever be enough. Belief is the permission slip your mind requires before it allows you to succeed. Without belief, you sabotage yourself unconsciously, rejecting opportunities, delaying action, doubting your worth. With belief, you multiply every effort. You see what others miss. You persevere where others quit. You create where others copy. Tonight, I want you to challenge one limiting belief about money that you carry. Write it down, then rewrite it in truth. If you believe I'll never get out of debt, replace it with, I am building financial freedom daily. If you believe riches are for other people, replace it with, I am included in abundance. Repeat the new belief until the old one crumbles. But belief alone is not enough. Belief must be married to discipline. Too many people declare their dreams but never train their habits. They speak of wealth, but their actions rehearse poverty. They dream of freedom, but their days are filled with waste. This is hypocrisy, and hypocrisy produces nothing. Wealth flows not to the dreamer, but to the disciplined dreamer. The one who rises early, the one who saves before he spends, the one who studies when others sleep, the one who acts when others wait. Discipline is the bridge between belief and reality. Without it, even the greatest vision dies unborn. Repeat this law: discipline builds destiny. Think of a sculptor standing before a block of stone. At first it looks ordinary, meaningless, useless, but in his mind he sees the masterpiece hidden within. And with each strike of the hammer, each precise removal, he reveals what was always there. So too with your wealth. At first your situation may look unremarkable, but within it lies the masterpiece of freedom, waiting to be revealed by discipline. Each decision, each sacrifice, each act of focus chips away the unnecessary, until the life you dreamed of stands before you. This is why you must not despise slow progress. Each strike matters, each day counts. Keep chiseling, keep shaping, keep revealing. Now hear me clearly. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Comfort whispers, stay where you are, do not risk, do not stretch, do not try. Comfort keeps millions bound in jobs they despise, in habits that drain them, in environments that suffocate their potential. Wealth requires the courage to step beyond comfort, to enter the discomfort of risk, the discomfort of growth, the discomfort of sacrifice. For only in discomfort do you expand. Only in discomfort do you find strength you never knew you had. Tonight, write this declaration on a card where you will see it daily. Comfort is my enemy. Growth is my friend. There is a principle that must guide you forward, and it is this: you attract not what you want, but who you are. If you want wealth, you must become the kind of person wealth belongs to. A person of vision, a person of discipline, a person of service, a person of courage. You cannot remain the same and expect life to give you more. Life responds to transformation. Change yourself and everything changes around you. Begin with identity. Act like the person you intend to become long before you are recognized as such. Dress, speak, and think as if you are already wealthy, disciplined, and free. Your identity is the soil. Wealth grows in it or withers in it. Say this aloud: I become the person worthy of wealth. I give you this actionable step tonight. Write down your wealthy identity in the present tense. Not I will be, but I am. I am disciplined. I am generous. I am free. I am wealthy in mind and action. Repeat it daily until it becomes your natural state. Most people will dismiss this as too simple. Do not be most people. The world you live in tomorrow is already being shaped by the identity you declare today. Plant wisely. So let me seal part 5 with this engraved law. Wealth is not found in chance, in luck, or in circumstance. Wealth is found in discipline, in belief, in focus, and in identity. Repeat it until your subconscious accepts it as truth. Write it until it etches into your habits. Declare it until it becomes your reality. Speak it now with certainty. I am disciplined, focused, and worthy of wealth. Fear is the silent thief of fortune. More men have been stopped by the fear of failure than by failure itself. More women have abandoned their dreams because of imagined obstacles than because of real ones. Fear is not a wall, it is a shadow, and like all shadows, it disappears when you walk into it. The wealthy mind does not wait for fear to vanish before it acts. It acts in spite of fear. It knows that courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. If you wait until you feel no fear, you will wait forever. But if you move forward while afraid, you will discover that fear shrinks with each step. Say this aloud with me now. I do not obey fear, I master fear. The greatest fortunes in history were built by those who dared when others hesitated. While the timid stood still, the bold advanced. While the cautious calculated endlessly, the decisive acted. This is not recklessness, it is the recognition that wealth belongs to those who move while others sleep. The marketplace rewards boldness. Opportunities are seized, not handed. If you want proof, look at every innovator, every creator, every entrepreneur you admire. None of them waited for permission. They saw an opening, they acted, they persisted, and the world rewarded their courage. Tonight, write down one action you have delayed because of fear and commit to doing it within the next 48 hours. Fear dies when action lives. There is another prison that keeps millions poor. It is the fear of judgment. They worry about what their family will think, what their friends will say, how strangers will perceive them. And so they shrink. They hide, they suppress their vision to maintain the approval of people who will not pay their bills or build their dreams. The wealthy mind has no room for this. Approval is not currency. Praise is not profit. Opinions do not create wealth. If you are to rise, you must sever the chain of public opinion. Live by principle, not popularity. Declare it boldly with me. I release the need for approval. I choose freedom over opinion. Let us address failure directly, for failure is the bogeyman most fear. Failure is not the opposite of wealth. Failure is the tuition you pay to earn it. Every error is instruction. Every setback is refinement. Every defeat carries the seed of a greater strategy. Those who avoid failure avoid success, for they are one and the same road. The wealthy mind does not fear falling because it understands falling forward accelerates learning. A child does not master walking without tumbling. A leader does not master success without stumbling. The difference is this: the poor in spirit stop when they fall. The wealthy rise, learn, and move forward stronger. Tonight, write this on paper: failure is my teacher, not my enemy. But beware of another inner enemy, self-doubt. Self-doubt whispers that you are unworthy, incapable, insufficient. It disguises itself as humility, but it is cowardice in disguise. It convinces you to aim smaller, dream less, settle earlier. The wealthy mind rejects self-doubt. It replaces it with faith, with confidence born of discipline, with the unshakable knowledge that you are a child of God, designed with infinite potential. If you cannot yet believe in the full vision, believe in the next step. If you cannot yet hold faith for the entire journey, hold faith for today. Each day of faith compounds into a future of confidence. Say this now: I trust myself. I trust the process. I trust my future. Another subtle fear is the fear of success itself. Many never admit it, but they fear the responsibility, the visibility, the change that comes with wealth. They ask, what if I cannot handle it? What if I lose it? What if I am not ready? These fears sabotage their rise. But the wealthy mind knows this truth. Success does not overwhelm you when you have been trained for it. Success reveals who you have become through the journey. If you build the habits now, the character now, the disciplines now, you will be more than ready to carry the wealth later. Do not fear success. Prepare for it. Embrace it. Expect it. Repeat aloud: I am ready for success. I welcome responsibility. I embrace wealth. Think of the lion in the wild. It does not hesitate to hunt because it might fail. It does not fear the judgment of other animals. It does not doubt its ability to act. It trusts its nature, and because it trusts, it rules. So must you. Trust the instincts of ambition. Trust the hunger for more. Trust the nature of your mind to create, to expand, to achieve. You were not born to crawl timidly. You were born to walk with dominion. Wealth is your inheritance if you refuse to live as a slave to fear. Begin now to act like the ruler of your own life. Write it down: I walk with confidence. I rule my mind. Here is a practical step to dismantle fear tonight. Take out a sheet of paper and write your worst financial fear. Write the worst-case scenario you dread. Then beneath it, write the solution. You will discover that every fear, when faced, shrinks. Every fear, when given light, loses its power. This simple exercise will prove to you that fear is imagination abused. Train your imagination to serve you, not torment you. Replace fear with strategy. Replace doubt with preparation. Replace hesitation with action. That is how you build wealth in spite of fear. So I leave you with this engraved law: fear is the gatekeeper to fortune, and courage is the key. Say it aloud, write it down, ingrain it into your daily declarations. I choose courage over fear. I act boldly. I walk through the gates of wealth. Wealth without wisdom is a curse. This is why so many who stumble into riches lose them as quickly as they gain them. They win the lottery, inherit a fortune, or strike quick success, but because their minds were never trained, their wealth slips away like water through open hands. The wealthy mind knows that money without understanding is dangerous. It does not merely chase accumulation, it chases mastery. Mastery of thought, mastery of habits, mastery of principles. Riches gained without wisdom collapse. Riches built upon wisdom endure. If you want wealth that lasts, you must pursue knowledge with the same hunger you pursue money. Say this aloud with conviction: I seek wisdom as I seek wealth. I gain both together. The untrained mind believes that learning ends with school. The wealthy mind knows that learning begins when school ends. Life is the real classroom. Every day is a lesson. Every setback is a teacher. Every book, every conversation, every experience can be mined for insight. The difference between the poor and the wealthy is not intelligence, it is attention. One drifts through life, never noticing the lessons around him. The other observes, studies, reflects, and applies. This is why one man watches the market and complains while another studies the same market and profits. It is not what they see, but how they think about what they see. Train your mind to extract wisdom from everything. Write it boldly. I learn from every experience. We must confront another illusion, the belief that wealth is achieved by shortcuts. This lie tempts the impatient. It whispers through scams, get-rich-quick schemes, promises of overnight millions. But shortcuts do not lead to freedom. They lead to bondage. Every pyramid collapses. Every scheme implodes. Every false promise leaves the believer poorer than before. The wealthy mind is immune to shortcuts because it knows the law. The law is cause and effect. The law is sowing and reaping. What you plant, you harvest. What you work for, you earn. There is no escaping this. Do not seek the easy path. Seek the right path. Repeat this until it is engraved. There are no shortcuts to wealth. Wisdom also teaches that wealth is not kept by chance. It is kept by systems. The wealthy mind builds order around its resources. It budgets, it tracks, it invests, it multiplies. Money flows towards structure. Without structure, money flees. Consider the man who wins a fortune but has no plan. Within years, the fortune evaporates. But the one who builds systems, who creates disciplines, who respects structure, grows his wealth even when starting small. Tonight, write down one system you can create. Perhaps a weekly budget, perhaps automatic savings, perhaps daily goal review. Systems are the invisible scaffolding of wealth. Say it with me now. I build systems that multiply my money. But wisdom goes deeper still. It reminds us that wealth is not measured only by what you gather, but by what you keep and what you give. A wealthy man who hoards becomes a prisoner of his possessions. His riches own him instead of him owning his riches. But the one who gives, who invests in others, who uses wealth to expand opportunity, experiences freedom. Giving does not diminish wealth, it multiplies it. This is a paradox the untrained mind cannot grasp. But the wealthy mind knows that generosity is not subtraction, it is multiplication. Write this declaration in your journal tonight. I am generous and my wealth multiplies. Think of the river. Water flows freely, nourishing everything in its path, and because it flows, it stays fresh. But water that refuses to flow, water that hoards itself in a stagnant pool, soon becomes foul, filled with decay. Money works the same way. Keep it flowing. Circulate it through service, through investment, through generosity, and it stays fresh, multiplying as it moves. Hoard it without purpose, and it stagnates, bringing fear and misery. Your mind must train itself to think like a river, not a swamp. Repeat aloud, I am a river of wealth. I keep it flowing, and it returns multiplied. There is also the wisdom of resilience. Wealth will test you. There will be losses. There will be failures. There will be moments when your plans unravel. The poor in spirit see these moments as the end. The wealthy mind sees them as the forge. Just as steel is tempered by fire, so is wealth consciousness tempered by adversity. Do not fear losses. Learn from them. Do not despise setbacks. Use them. Each storm strengthens your foundation. Each failure polishes your strategy. Each challenge proves your commitment. Wealth is not for the fragile, it is for the resilient. Say this until it is a part of you. I am resilient. I turn setbacks into steps forward. Actionable wisdom for tonight is simple. Begin a wealth journal. Record your thoughts, your lessons, your ideas. Each day, capture at least one principle you have learned about money, about service, about discipline. Over time, this journal becomes a treasury of wisdom, and wisdom, stored and reviewed, becomes a guide that prevents foolishness and accelerates growth. Start tonight. One lesson, one page, one commitment to learning daily. So I leave you with this engraved law. Lasting wealth is the child of wisdom and discipline. Not luck, not shortcuts, not schemes. Say it aloud with strength. Write it with certainty. Declare it until your soul knows it as truth. I build wealth with wisdom. I multiply it with discipline. The greatest riches you will ever build are not in your bank, but in your mind and spirit. For money without vision is wasted, and fortune without purpose is hollow. The final truth about wealth is this: it is not the end itself. It is the tool, the amplifier, the servant of your greater mission. A man who gathers riches but loses direction is no better than a beggar who dreams but never acts. But the one who aligns wealth with vision, who joins money with meaning, becomes unstoppable. His riches are not only counted in dollars, but in influence, in freedom, in the ability to shape the world around him. Wealth must serve a mission greater than itself. Say this now: my wealth serves my purpose. My purpose gives power to my wealth. There is a trap that destroys many who finally reach success. They mistake the fruits of wealth for the roots of wealth. They think the car, the house, the applause is the goal, and once they obtain these, they grow careless, distracted, soft. But the roots of wealth are never external, they are internal. The roots are vision, discipline, service, sacrifice, resilience, wisdom. Protect the roots and the tree will keep bearing fruit. Neglect the roots and the tree will wither, no matter how abundant the harvest once was. Tonight, remind yourself, I protect the roots, I build from within. This is how you not only reach wealth, but sustain it for a lifetime. Purpose is the compass that ensures your wealth moves in the right direction. Without it, you may climb the ladder of success only to discover it leans against the wrong wall. But with purpose, each step, each sacrifice, each decision compounds into fulfillment. Wealth without purpose creates emptiness. Wealth with purpose creates legacy. Think of the inventors, the builders, the leaders whose contributions outlived them, their wealth-funded visions greater than themselves. That is the standard. That is the invitation. Ask yourself now, what purpose will my wealth serve? Who will it lift? What will it build? Write the answer, even if it is small. Let your purpose guide your fortune. Another false belief must be dismantled. The belief that wealth will one day set you free to begin living. That when you are finally rich, then you will chase your passions, then you will build your dreams, then you will start your mission. This is backward. The truth is that wealth flows toward those already living with vision. You must begin the dream now, even in small steps. Begin the mission now, even in small ways. Begin to live with purpose today, and watch how resources align to fuel it. Do not wait for money to grant you permission to live. Live with purpose, and money will come to serve it. Say it aloud until it sinks deep. I live my purpose now. Wealth follows my purpose. There is also a deeper law at work, the law of contribution. Life rewards not what you take, but what you give. The man who seeks only to hoard eventually collapses under the weight of emptiness. But the one who contributes, who pours his knowledge, his service, his resources into others, finds life pouring back into him in ways he never expected. Contribution is the highest expression of wealth. It transforms money into meaning, riches into legacy, success into significance. Tonight, write down one way you will contribute this week, through service, through generosity, through knowledge. Let contribution be the proof of your wealth consciousness. Understand this final paradox. The pursuit of wealth for its own sake leads to poverty of soul. But the pursuit of purpose, service, and contribution leads to both inner riches and outer riches. This is why the wealthy mind never makes money the master. It makes money the servant. It never makes wealth the idol. It makes wealth the instrument. And when this alignment is achieved, there is no limit to what you can create, no ceiling to what you can build, no boundary to what you can become. The mind trained in purpose is the most powerful force on earth. Let me give you this actionable step. Tonight, write a personal wealth mission statement. One paragraph that declares not only how much money you will build, but why you will build it. Whose lives will it touch? What vision will it fund? What legacy will it create? Post it where you can see it every day. Let it become the North Star of your financial journey. Without this, money will wander. With this, money will march in order, directed by your command. And so the law I leave with you now is the crown of everything we have spoken. Train your mind to see wealth as the servant of your vision, not the master of your life. Let purpose lead, and let money follow. Repeat this aloud, engrave it in your journal, declare it in your heart. I am the master of money. I am the servant of purpose. I use wealth to build legacy.